You're now tuned in to the Real Money Coach broadcast with host Tony Jackson, author of the book Increase, Protect, and Dominate Your Money. Get ready for winning tips and strategies to effectively manage your finances and learn the key principles of protecting and dominating your money. Now, here's author and host Tony Jackson.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Real Money Coach Show here on Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station. I am your host, Tony Jackson. I have a great show for you today. I have a wonderful couple that will be in the studio with me, and that is Derrick and Tavia Jackson. No relation, by the way, but they're local entrepreneurs. They will share their story. You will definitely enjoy that, so make sure you stay tuned for segment 2 and 3 of the radio show. Student loan debt. People are still asking me a lot about student loan debt, and with good reason. I mean, as we know that's been a major issue. I don't think it's going to go away because of it being such a passionate issue on both sides of both those who are in favor of student loan forgiveness and those who are not in favor. As we know, a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, the Supreme Court struck down Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt of $10,000 per borrower and $20,000 if you were a Pell Grant recipient. Well, since then, there's a couple things that have happened that have excited people in the area of this. But I'll tell you, one of the things that has been, very much stated by the Biden Harris administration and the Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona, is the fact that they're not stopped fighting for student loan borrowers. And so last week, there was an announcement by the Department of Education that $39 billion in automatic student loan forgiveness is coming to many borrowers, about 800,000 borrowers, because of a fix that they made to income-driven repayment plans. And there's a couple different plans out there. But basically how it works is this, is that if you've been paying on your student loans for 20 years, in some cases 25 years, your student loans are supposed to be, the outstanding balance is supposed to be forgiven. And that's because you are on an income-based, income-driven repayment plan. And so what was discovered is that there was some errors in the calculation of those, 20 years or 25 years, 200 payments, 240 payments, or whatever that possibly looked like. And so as a result of correcting those errors, there was about 800 borrowers that were having the remainder of their student loans forgiven. And so that was last week. And then, even early as Wednesday this week, they also made some changes to what is called the Public Service Loan Forgiveness, or PSLF for short. And that is if you work for a public service company or private nonprofit company, things like nonprofit businesses, schools, it could be military service, American Corps, and so forth. But it's nonprofits. And again, if you had been working for the nonprofit for 10 years and they qualify and they're officially recognized as a 501(c) nonprofit or government agency, then you can have your student loans forgiven. So what part of the problem is, how do you deal with the pandemic? How do you deal with the fact that, there was forbearance and people weren't paying? And I think really what has happened is that is some of the things that they're correcting. And then how many hours do you have to work? And it should be an average of 30 hours. And so there's all those type of details that they're working out. And so, but based on that and some relaxed rules as far as the public service loan forgiveness has gone, that they're looking at more, maybe about $16 billion in loan forgiveness will be coming for those people who may qualify for that. And I guess the bottom line when it comes to student loan forgiveness is to stay tuned, pay attention, make sure that you're looking at the news and making sure that you're communicating with your loan service provider, because there's still some relief out there. It wasn't the major, wide, sweeping relief that that Biden was pushing for, but there's still relief. And so that's the kind of the hot news thing that's going on this week in terms of financial matters. And I also want to just take a time just to remind those of you who are listening, if you have not had your appointment with me to discuss your personal financial situation, whether it's, saving for retirement, having the proper life insurance, maybe even debt management or whatever it happens to be, I just want to remind you, just go to iPadappointment.com. If you go to iPadappointment.com, you can schedule an appointment directly with me. We can have a conversation and see if there's some things that we might be able to suggest for you to help you put you in a better position in terms of with your finances and saving for retirement and saving for a rainy day and making sure you're properly covered and all those type of things that we like to talk to our clients about. So remember, that's iPadappointment.com. If nothing else, just remember to go to therealmoneycoach.com. There you can order my book and also schedule an appointment, whatever you need to do. So listen, I'm going to take a really quick break right here, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to have both Tavia and Derrick Jackson in the studio with me. They hail from Concord, Michigan. You're going to really love this couple. You're listening to the Real Money Coach Show here on Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station.
Let me be your canvas. Let me be your vision. Let me be your brush that you use to express yourself. Use my life as a backdrop. Yeah. Use my heart as the light. Now breathe on me what you like and make it come to life. So what I want you to do is just write on me and work with me. Just slide through me. You work almighty. Write on me and work with me. Just slide through me. You're almighty. Boss, let me be a color now that you use to accentuate. Let me be your texture to give a unique taste. Use my soul.
Want to scale your business to 7 figures and beyond? Join Dr. George C. Frazier, Dr. Michelle Walker-Davis, Dr. Michael Roberts, Mr. Stan Matthews, and Dr. Avis Jones DeWeaver, and successful entrepreneurs from across the country at the MBN Millionaire Mindset Conference in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on October 8th and 9th. Call Stan Matthews at 732-357-5701 for more information, or go to MillionaireMindsetLive.com to get registered right now.
Hey Grace family, join author Tony Jackson for the Real Money Coach broadcast each and every Saturday morning from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9. Mr. Jackson enlightens you on the real secrets of money. He'll also help you increase, protect, and dominate your money. You can also catch Tony Jackson's The Real Money Coach every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube. Check out The Real Money Coach, Mr. Tony Jackson, every Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9.
Hey, Tony Jackson here. You know me as The Real Money Coach. Listen, I want to encourage you to do something. And what I want to encourage you to do is email me your questions, your comments, or even suggestions of topics that you'd like us to cover on the Real Money Coach Show. You can email it to info@therealmoneycoach.com. Again, that's info@therealmoneycoach.com. Email us your questions, your comments, your suggestions, and we will answer those on air and also on our Facebook Live YouTube show on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you email us so that we can get that information that you want to know in your ears. I am Tony Jackson, the Real Money Coach.
And welcome back to the Real Money Coach broadcast with author and host, Tony Jackson.
Welcome back to the Real Money Coach Show here on Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station. I am your host, Tony Jackson. As I told you in the first part of the show, I have some marvelous guests in the studio with me today, and Tavia and Derrick Jackson. Now, you know they got to be the bomb with that last name, right? So we are excited about them. As I mentioned, I met them at the 2023 Business Expo out in Concord and was so impressed with them as a couple, business owners, and all of that. So I'm just going to let them introduce themselves. How are you guys doing this morning?
We are doing phenomenal. It's just been a wonderful summer. We've been able to meet some incredible people like yourself, Tony, and just have a ball. And, because we believe that whatever you're doing, you got to have some fun.
You got to have some fun. And this beautiful lady who's with you is?
Hi, my name is Tavia Jackson, and I am, of course, Derrick's wife, but we also own businesses together. We do most things together.
Well, that's pretty bomb. My wife and I just celebrated 31 years last week, so we've been doing some things together for a little while. So that's part of life. You marry and you just do life together, right? Yes. So there's not really this separation. That's your thing. That's my thing. This is our thing. It's kind of how we've done it. Sounds like you guys much the same way. So
absolutely, yeah. We met actually visiting the same college as high school seniors, if you can believe that. So ended up at the same campus on the same weekend as 17-year-old kids, and that's where we met each other.
Wow, that's a story. Now, what campus was that? What college was that?
Elon University.
Oh, Elon. Okay, and that's right, Burlington or something like that,
exactly
right? North Carolina. Okay,
exactly.
Great. Now, did you actually end up both going there, or
we did?
You did. Okay, so HBCU. Am I correct? It's not.
It's
not
the
Elon.
Opposite.
It's the opposite.
At that point, it was about 3%.
Okay. That sounds like the school I went to. So for some reason, I thought it was a HBCU there, but maybe not.
Well, of course, we're really close to A&T.
Sure.
And some other schools. Bennett is really close in that area.
Now, what did you major in?
So my major was corporate communications with a double major with business administration and business management as a double major.
And I majored in sports medicine with a minor in psychology.
Okay. No. So my wife and I, we met in college too, our sophomore years, both accounting majors. So that's how we met. And, here we are 31 years plus later, right? So we dated for 4 years before getting married. But just tell us a little bit about, what your career's been and how you've gotten to where you are right now, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So when we met years ago, it was at a gospel choir concert. And we realized that really early on that we had a lot in common, and we both loved Jesus. And so that was a great foundation for our friendship. And then after we met and started working together, we started doing music together. And so that was really unique as well. And as our relationship blossomed, then businesses started popping up. And so we did leadership and business development. We've done some coaching work. I've worked with professional athletes or people who are aspiring to be professional athletes. Tavia's been a makeup artist, just tons of different wonderful things that we've been able to do.
Absolutely. And then definitely also in our professional careers, I've been doing project management work, and I own a coaching and consulting firm called Tavia Jack's Unlocked, Unstuck, and Unstoppable. So I help women get unstuck and unlocked and become unstoppable.
Well, listen, I can't wait to unpack that come Tuesday night, because that's pretty. And my co-host, Michelle Mitchell, we've been friends ever since freshman college as well. Matter of fact, her and my wife are best friends. She's going to be all over that. She's going to be all over that. I love that. So then, where are you originally from? And I know you met at Elon, but where's home?
Home for me is the Washington, D.C. area. So I was born on Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland, and I graduated high school in Northern Virginia, and I went to Elon to play football. So,
okay.
That was the original draw, not necessarily what kept me. You know what I'm saying? But
I hear you.
The original draw to that institution.
And I'm from Long Island, New York, and then my family transitioned down to Charlotte, North Carolina. They wanted us to have a little bit of a calmer life. They had 3 girls, so we were growing up very close to the city. We had a lot of family in New York and Harlem, And so they wanted us to transition to the calmer South.
Okay. So did you go to high school then here?
I did. I went to Independence High School.
Independence High School. All right. Give a shout out to Independence High School this morning.
And I was going to say that Tavia made a lot more pit stops along the way because she was active duty Marine Corps at one point in time in our relationship as well. So lots of stops and lots of things to discuss on Tuesday.
Yeah. So you were in the Marines?
Yes, sir.
What's
8
that?
years.
That's hoorah.
Hoorah.
Right? All right. Okay.
Hoorah.
So thank you for your service, by the way. So you were a military spouse?
Yes, I was a military spouse, and then in my earlier career, I actually worked in counterterrorism in the Washington D.C. area. So we had a really cool, complex relationship.
Hey, you know how they say, it's complex, right? but it's complex in a good way. And you know what's, I think that's very unique, is how most of the time we see the female being the military spouse, and then you guys kind of had that reverse. I think that's dope. You guys are just an interesting couple. I mean, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
So
Glad to be here.
Well, listen, we are going to take a quick break, listen to a little bit of music, and then I'm going to come back with the Jacksons, and we're going to talk a little bit more about their business, Taste Buds of Concord, as well as what Tavia is doing in the consulting area. You're listening to the Real Money Coach Show here on Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station.
I've tried it my way, but it took away all my faith. I tried to sleep it away, but the pain stayed. I've tried to blend in, but it was bigger than my friends. You see, I've tried hard. I just needed to trust God. I've tried hard. I just needed to trust God. I've tried running away, but I never found my place. Tried staying in, but there was a dead end. Tried to hide in a crowd, but they almost took me out. You see, I tried hard. I just needed to trust God. See, I tried hard, needed to trust God. I've tried it my way, but it took away all my faith. Tried to save it away, but the pain stayed. Oh, tried to blend in, but it was bigger than my friends. I tried hard. Just needed to trust God. You see, I tried hard. Just needed to trust God. You're the reason I'm who I am. I wanna please you the best I can. Yeah, it's something man just can't understand. You see, I tried hard. I just needed to trust God. You're the reason I'm who I am. Yeah. I wanna please you the best I can. Oh no, it's something I just can't understand. You see, I tried hard. Just needed to trust God. It seemed like praying didn't work. Oh. The more I praised, I hurt. Listen. And the waiting made it worse. Anybody ever been there? You done all you could and tried hard, but you just need to trust God. I tried to lie to keep it real, but God knew the deal. But it was love I couldn't feel. I needed to be healed. I tried hard, but I couldn't find strength to trust Him. Anybody ever tried hard, but you just needed to trust God? You're the reason I am who I am. I wanna please you.
Want to Scale your business to 7 figures and beyond? Join Dr. George C. Frazier, Dr. Michelle Walker Davis, Dr. Michael Roberts, Mr. Stan Matthews, and Dr. Avis Jones DeWeaver, and successful entrepreneurs from across the country at the MBN Millionaire Mindset Conference in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on October 8th and 9th. Call Stan Matthews at 732-357-5701 for more information, or go to MillionaireMindsetLive.com to get registered right now.
Hey, Grace family, join author Tony Jackson for the Real Money Coach broadcast each and every Saturday morning from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9. Mr. Jackson enlightens you on the real secrets of money. He'll also help you increase, protect, and dominate your money. You can also catch Tony Jackson's The Real Money Coach every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube. Check out The Real Money Coach, Mr. Tony Jackson, every Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9.
Hey, Tony Jackson here. You know me as The Real Money Coach. Listen, I want to encourage you to do something. And what I want to encourage you to do is email me your questions, your comments, or even suggestions of topics that you would like us to cover on the Real Money Coach show. You can email it to info@therealmoneycoach.com. Again, that's info@therealmoneycoach.com. Email us your questions, your comments, your suggestions, and we will answer those on air and also on our Facebook Live YouTube show on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you email us so that we can get that information that you want to know in your ears. I am Tony Jackson, the Real Money Coach.
And welcome back to the Real Money Coach broadcast with author and host, Tony Jackson.
Welcome back to the Real Money Coach show here on Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station. And I want to remind you once again that you can listen to this radio show, this broadcast, on all podcasting platforms. We're talking Apple, Google, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. We're on all of them. And I have this wonderful couple in the studio with me today. And, you know, it's really a pleasure because oftentimes, you know, we do these interviews and we don't get a chance to do it in person. It's over the phone because someone's in another city and that type of thing. But the Jacksons are right here in Concord. So they came down to the radio station to share with you all some of their wisdom and what they're doing. And so, Derrick, this is what I know you as, right? Because I walk into this business expo, which we want to give a shout out to LaCherie as well, who was the host of that. But man, I got me some loaded baked potato popcorn. And man, I couldn't stop eating it, man. So tell us about Taste Buds Popcorn.
Absolutely. So Taste Buds Popcorn is a woman-owned, veteran-owned, minority-owned black, business in Concord, North Carolina, and we do over 200 flavors of gourmet popcorn. So that's everything from, like you said, loaded baked potato all the way to the other end of the spectrum. We have banana pudding popcorn. And so all the things in between. You probably know me as Mr. Popcorn if you met me under those guises, but we had a good time that day, just like we do every day.
Yeah, it was a great conference. I thought LaCherie put together some wonderful guests and vendors. That you guys were one of them, and I think my wife said that she went to you and asked you for the recommendation for me, a meat eater and all that kind of stuff. What kind of popcorn would you recommend? And it was spot on, man. It was spot on. Ate that popcorn all the way home. So where in Concord is your business located?
So we're located just a mile north of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So it's about 6 minutes from Concord Mills Mall, but the address is 3805 Concord Parkway South, Concord, North Carolina, 28027.
Now, I want to ask you a little bit because I know you guys have owned a lot of businesses. And am I correct that Taste Buds is a franchise? Is that a franchise business? So
we have a licensing agreement with the founders.
Okay. So how did you decide to go into the popcorn business? I mean, what kind of sparked that?
So the short story of that is we launched this during the pandemic. And to me, the world was at its most divided at that period of time. We always knew we wanted to do another business together. And so we wanted something that would reunite the world and have something that people would smile about because we didn't have a lot of reasons to smile back in 2020. And so this was our being part of the solution and not part of the problem.
And also while we were praying about it, and he ran into the individuals that do the licensing agreement with us, he came home and he was so excited. And I said, okay, babe, that sounds great, but let's pray about it. So we prayed about it. We fasted about it. And about 3 weeks in, my daughter, we told our kids, Zoe, my daughter was 8 at the time. And she comes to me and tells me that my youngest, who was 8 months at the time, well, you know, Creed was born on National Popcorn Day, Mommy. What? So I Googled it, and sure enough, I was in the hospital pushing for 3 days for him to come out on January 19th, which was National Popcorn Day, which was another confirmation of, yes, this is the path for right now.
Man, when God is in something, boy, I'm telling you, I got a little chills on that right there. You know, National Popcorn Day, I didn't even know it was a National Popcorn Day. But on January 19th, I know where I'm going to go get me some popcorn.
Yeah. And we ship nationally, too, so that part's important to add. You would just go to tastebudsconcord.com.
That's awesome. Well, when you guys are on the show Tuesday for the live show Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, I really want to kind of unpack that a little bit about what some of the things that have led to your success in terms of Taste Buds, Popcorn, and Concord. So I'm really looking to unpack that. So Miss Tavia, I got to ask you a couple questions because I know that you mentioned a few minutes ago, you said Unstuck, right? Unlock and Unstoppable. That's pretty powerful. So tell us a little bit about what you may be able to leave with our listeners on Tuesday.
Absolutely. So I found myself going through different trials in life, and they were hitting me back to back to back to back. Everything from being diagnosed with an incurable disease to marriage to children to not being financially satisfied. And I was stuck. And I'm a Christian. I know the word, believe the word, but I was still stuck. And so I had to pray about it and come up with a strategy to get myself unstuck. I had to identify what my limiting beliefs were. And God showed me a vision of literally me returning to the original authentic creation that he created before life and rejection and traumas piled on top of it. And so you
preaching, girl. Go ahead. I love it.
And so I help women become unstuck from the thoughts of I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, I won't be able to do this, I won't be able to do that. And I help us get unlocked because we're not operating, most people are not operating at their full capacity in their brain, in their energy, in their thought process, in their giftings, in their talents, and who God created them to be. I love the definition of humility. When you break the word down in the Greek, it actually says occupying your God-given space in the world. And most of us are not occupying our God-given space in the world. And lastly, with the strategy and plan that I have in place and the systems for women, I also help them become unstoppable. So now you're unshakable. We have a firm foundation. We understand who we are. We know how to move in our space and occupy the space proudly that we've been given.
Well, listen, that is exciting right there. I can't wait to unpack this on Tuesday. Let me tell you something, Tavia and Derrick, thank you so much for taking the time to drive down to the studio, spend some time with us this morning. And I can't wait for Tuesday. I want to remind our audience once again, Tuesday, 8 p.m., you can go to YouTube, The Real Money Coach. Matter of fact, subscribe to that channel. It's also going to be live on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. And again, just a big thank you for coming into the studio. You've blessed us today, and I can't wait till Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Tony.
We're honored.
All right, everyone, this is it. This is a wrap for the show. Make sure you have a great weekend, and we'll see you all on live Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm Tony Jackson. Most people know me as the Real Money Coach.
We hope you've enjoyed the Real Money Coach broadcast with author and host Tony Jackson. We encourage you to utilize today's strategies and principles to manage your money in the most effective and winning way. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to send us an email, TonyJacksonAgency@gmail.com, or you can reach us on all social media platforms. And if you would like a copy of Tony Jackson's book, Increase, Protect, and Dominate Your Money, log on to www.therealmoneycoach.com. Until next week's empowering broadcast, God bless.